But majority of people are curious and want to ask questions, or they don't want to ask questions, and it's fine and it's normal. But there are some people, obviously, that will say stuff. I mean, there was a lady where I lived, she got stabbed because she was a Muslim. The one time that somebody's actually literally come up to my face and actually had it out with me was the other day. That's what I want to bloody talk about, in Tesco's Express. So that was a lovely, lovely experience. I want to talk about what it's like being in England and basically wearing my hijab, my scarf. So most, every day I've worn it, I've had more good days than bad days. Obviously, though, I have experienced some abuse, which I want to talk about on this video. So the first thing that ever happened to me was I went to a mosque, and I was pregnant. I was about 8 months pregnant. I came out, and this was a long time ago. So there wasn't as many Muslims where I live now. Not many people were, covering their hair. So, and I feel there's a lot of tension more after what happened on 9/11. Than what there is now, and I don't know, it just seems people are a lot more ignorant then. So yeah, people chuck stones at me, which wasn't very nice, but Next thing that happened to me, I was going to Castle Park with my son. He was then 3, and people chucked mud. They chucked mud at the back of my head and went all down me. It's disgusting. I did try to run after the people that did it, because I was like, come on, someone say to my face, don't just call me names and chuck stuff and run away, What, they're like little babies or something. And that was kind of scary, because I was thinking they did it even though my son was in the buggy. It's the same when I was pregnant. They did it when I was pregnant. I mean, how sick. I've also been told to F off, you effing Arab, even though I'm not Arabic, but so what if I was? Not very nice. I've been told, go home, you effing Asian. I'm not Asian, but so what if I was? I have been told, and that the man that did that was up a ladder. And a man also, I was walking outside my house, and the man, oh, F off, you effing terrorist. I'm always with my kids when this happens as well, which is even worse, because they have to witness this. I also had some kids walk past me and tell me to take off that effing, what do they call it? Tea towel, something like that. I don't know. I've had people shout at me, oh, you're effing bald. So what if I was, but I'm not. People usually abuse people, I've noticed, Muslims, like when they're in the car, or like when they're up a ladder, or like when they're with all their friends, like these bullies or whatever, they never want to come to your face. And apart from one time, actually, this has happened. I respect him in that way. At least the idiot actually had the guts to do it. But most of them, they run away, or they're doing it in the car, So the time that I've shouted back at them or tried to talk to them, they're gone. So that happened. Another time, I'd go to McDonald's. I mean, I don't really go there that much, but I went to McDonald's and I got like a fish fillet or something like that. And they actually gave me pork and laughed on purpose. I didn't eat it, but I opened it up and I knew it was, pork. And I was, it's stupid. Like, so what if I don't eat pork? A lot of Jewish people don't eat pork. And a lot of, vegans, obviously, they don't eat animals. And vegetarians. We're not the only people in the world that don't eat pork. Like, I actually know some people. I think even my sister. She hasn't got any. I don't know if she's got any religion. She doesn't eat pork. You do know. And another thing as well that I watched in a documentary, that they actually gas pigs. I'm being serious. They gas them. So even if I wasn't Muslim, I don't think I'd ever want to eat pigs. And I never even liked the taste of them before. And I'm being serious. So it was nothing to give up. So yeah, they say stuff like that. Oh yeah, the funny incident as well that happened with my mum, because my mum and dad are not Muslim, and they got me this bag, and but they would just give me, we went to Centre Parks, and they give you a bag to put my clothes in, and it said, I'm going to take the end what it says. So I'm gone swimming at Centre Parks. I'm riding around with this big carrier bag, and everyone's giving me dirty looks, and I had no idea why they give me dirty looks for. And it turns out because it says bring home the bacon. Oh my god! So probably people thinking that I'm mocking Muslims. But I had no idea. See, I can laugh about things like that. So what? It's kind of funny, but yes, there was another thing. The one time that somebody's actually literally come up to my face and actually had it out with me was the other day. That's what I want to bloody talk about, in Tesco's Express. So that was a lovely, lovely experience. So there was a guy, an older guy in there, and he was standing near where the cards were, because I needed to get a birthday card for my son's his friend's birthday party. So I just said to him, as you do, oh, excuse me, if you don't mind, I just need to, go down there and I need to get a card. And he was like, and I was like, okay, like he's just like, maybe he's just had like one of them days, or maybe he's just a grumpy old man, you know, whatever. I thought nothing of it. He was in the queue. The queue is basically near the cards are. So then I stood behind him to pay. I was queuing up. And then he turns around and he starts growling somewhere. And then he's like, F off. And I'm like, what? And then I just couldn't believe, like, he's telling me to F off. And he's like, go back, go home, go away. You're not allowed in here. And I'm like, right. And I said to him, I am allowed in here and I'm not going to fuck off. Basically, I told him, I ain't going nowhere. And I was like, oh, F off, F off, F off. And I was like, I don't know whether, like, he's just basically gone a bit senile, or, like, maybe he's just a little bit mad, or then, but then it was when he said, F off or something, you're not British, then I knew basically it was because, like, I am basically a Muslim, and I was like, great. So, I said to him, I'm not going to F off, and I am British, and my parents are English, actually, and I'm English. And the funniest thing about all of this is that he was bloody Scottish. I mean, I could tell from his accent. So you've got people now in the country that are not even English, that have come over here from another part, or, you know, it's United Kingdom or whatever, and telling people that are English to fuck off. Sorry. I just think it was so bad. I find it kind of comedy. I wish I could get the video of it and put it on my YouTube of what actually happened. So in the end, Tesco's people had to come and you know, tell him to leave after he paid, because he was really aggressive. He was getting too much in my face. And when, like, they said to him, you need to stop it, he goes, well, I would stop it, but you won't stop yapping. And I was like, well, yeah, so I'm not allowed to talk back when you abuse me now. What the hell? And apparently, like, he goes in that shop like every Friday, so I probably won't be going in there like on Friday ever again. But yeah, like, so that's happened. Trying to think of anything else, because a lot of things have happened. I've had it where like when I've gone through security, like in Paris, I wear beret because I was so worried about, you know, when they tried to ban Muslim women for covering up at the beach. I was like, oh my god, I better wear a beret hat because I don't really feel safe like wearing a scarf. But they saw the passport. Before they saw this passport, they were smiling at me, and then as soon as they saw the passport, they just their facial expressions changed and they look more serious, and then they actually put like my passport up on the screen and start typing, and they didn't do it to my mum and my dad, I'm not Muslim, and my kids, it was just me. And I was like, why are you doing that for? Is it because I'm a Muslim you're discriminating against me? I said, I've got nothing to hide, like, why do you need to do that for? So then when we got into France, went to the hotel, and they're very, you know, have to be very strict with everyone, the security. Obviously, then they didn't need to see my passport because I've shown it already, and so they just used to ask random people to come to the side. And because I was wearing my hat, they never asked me once. But can you see, you know, if I'd been wearing my scarf, in fact, they kept asking my dad more than anyone. But yeah, like, just from wearing a scarf, I think people need to realise that you will be targeted more for security checks. They do that, I don't care, and it's true, you know, people don't want to say it's true, and people will look at you more as well because it's different, a lot of people wearing it, depends, I guess, where you're living in England, but majority of people are curious, don't want to ask questions, or they don't want to ask questions, and it's fine, and it's normal. But there are some people, obviously, that will say stuff. I mean, there was a lady where I lived, she got stabbed because she was a Muslim, you know, some Saudi Arabian woman. It's really bad, on her way to college. So yeah, it's you have to be like really careful, and like if I go out at night time, really late at night, obviously, like, I don't think I'd wear my scarf. I think I'd wear like a hat maybe. I don't really go out that much at night, but if I did, but yeah, like, obviously, you know, Jewish people are being discriminated against, I've heard, and there's some Sikh people actually being discriminated against a lot because people are thinking that they're Muslims when they're attacking them, and they're actually not, and they're Sikhs. So people are just becoming so scared from the government, you know, the media, and they're not thinking that, you know, that everybody isn't this, you know, they're not thinking that everyone's an individual, and that just because someone did it from that set of people doesn't, you know, they're thinking they're all the same basically, and because of the fear then turns into ignorance. This is what I believe, and then the ignorance turns into violence and division and more control basically.